The profound realms of the internet is something that we have frequently looked into on this channel. Obscure areas of the internet that many don't really know about. More specifically, we've discussed the topic around the dark web. If you're like me, you may find the dark web to be quite intriguing, a side of the internet that is hidden from public view. I have made 2 videos that delve into the enigmatic realm of the dark web. The initial first video, which dates back to my early days on YouTube, explores the intricate layers of the dark web, although from a speculative perspective. Subsequently, I released another video that investigates the existence of red rooms, unraveling the myth behind them. It has been a considerable period of 3 months since I last addressed any topics associated with the dark web. Since the release of the last video on red rooms, I have never ventured back into the dark web, as there has been no compelling incentive or reason to do so. So, I never did go back there. However, a week ago, I decided to venture into the depths of the dark web once more. Reason? Well, I don't know, to be honest. Well, no, there was a reason. I originally went back to get some background footage of me just browsing around the dark web, and while I was browsing, I just kind of thought what I can find if I spent some time browsing around the dark web. What mysterious and strange things I can discover. So, I set the goal of browsing and exploring the dark web for 1 week, and decided to document all of my findings and share it with you all. So that is what we will be doing in this video. I will be showing my experience and interesting findings that I found while surfing the dark web. Now, before we get into day 1, I first believe that I must explain a couple of things first. The first being, do not, I repeat, do not buy any illegal things from the internet, and do not participate in any illegal activity on the internet prior to any potential legal implications or violations of YouTube's terms of service. I would like to emphasize that the following video is intended solely for entertainment purposes. I would like to make it abundantly clear that I am no way endorsing or encouraging viewers to actively seek out the content or websites mentioned within the video. In fact, I highly advise you to stay away from any of these websites presented in the video. The second thing I would like to mention is, what is the dark web? This is for those that are unfamiliar with the dark web and don't know what it is. As I'm sure many of you watching do know what it is, let me quickly explain to the ones that don't really know what it is. You see, the dark web is a part of the internet that is hidden and can't be found through regular search engines like Google, Bing, Firefox, etc. You need special software to access it. Users on the dark web typically employ tools like Tor, the Onion router, to browse anonymously and access websites that are not available through regular browsers. The way Tor works is it routes internet traffic through a series of volunteer-operated servers, making it difficult to trace the origin of the traffic. People use the dark web to be anonymous and keep their activities private. While not everything on the dark web is illegal, it is known for being a place where illegal things happen. People can buy drugs, stolen information, weapons, and other illegal items that will get this video demonetized. Oh, also, there's a lot of scams and viruses. And when I mean a lot, I mean a lot. So now that you know that, what exactly am I looking for while exploring this hidden realm? Well, I'm not really looking for anything specific. I'm kind of just looking around. But if I can find some hidden government information / documents regarding the recent alien and UFO theories that have been spiraling around recently, then that would be cool. Or, to be honest, if I can just find a cool and interesting mystery that I can make a video about, that works too. Now, the last thing I would like to mention is that I am not an expert or proficient individual who knows how to explain the technical side of things. So if you are confused about something or don't really know what's going on, don't worry, because I'm just as confused as you are. I am very unfamiliar with the dark web, and I still don't even know how to decrypt a PGP signature. Originally, I was going to learn before making this video, but I found myself too lazy to learn, so yeah. The main goal of this video is for entertainment purposes, of course, but to also give an inside look on what the dark web looks like for those who are too scared to browse it themselves. But I believe I've gone over everything that needs to be said. So with that all out of the way, I hope you all enjoy the video. Now for day one, I accidentally recorded in a lower resolution, so if the quality is a bit poor for the first day, it's because of that. Okay, here we are on the dark web. Okay, so I'm pretty sure in the intro I've explained my goals and things, what we're looking for. Well, we're not looking for anything specific, but we are just going to browse around and hopefully just find some interesting things like government documents of the aliens that we've been seeing recently. Maybe somebody has. So we're on a tor.taxi, which is a link list that just provides a bunch of links to websites, because honestly a lot of these websites are kind of difficult to find on their own, so we rely on these. Now I'm going to be saying a lot of stupid things in this video because to my knowledge to be honest, I don't know what I'm saying either. We're just going to be browsing around. Hopefully we won't catch any viruses, and we'll be lickety split or lickety go, and we'll be good to go. Okay. Day one was pretty straightforward and simple. I booted up my virtual machine and launched Tor. Mainly what happened in day one was just standard exploring and finding different link directories that lead me to different websites. If you don't know what a directory is, it's pretty much a website that contains a ton of links to other websites, because finding these websites alone is difficult. So by using these directories, it makes it quite simple. Some that I found were ones like tor.taxi, the Hidden Wiki, Torch, Tor Links, and a couple more. I then bookmarked these directories so I didn't have to go look for them all over again. I then went to access the Darknet Bible, which is a website that contains a load of useful information surrounding the dark web, ranging from what operating system to use on the dark web to what cryptocurrency is the most popular on the dark web. I afterward proceeded to check out a popular black market with all sorts of dubious materials, such as drugs, fake identification, and fraud. After looking around for a bit more, I then went to another directory, only to find a website that hosted a darknet lottery. Buy a ticket and have a chance at winning the pot. After this, I quickly discovered that a popular cryptocurrency used in the dark web is a currency called Monero. I went over to a Monero website to see how the stock price is looking, and to be honest, I'm not really into stocks or crypto, so I had no idea how much the conversion was to USD was. Anyhow, I soon returned to my first directory and went to check out some forums. And no surprise, it's just like forums on the clear net. Some normal, others were continuing forward a bit in time. I looked into some normal websites, like some articles and newslettering, and even the official CIA website itself. Why, you may ask? I'm not too sure myself. After finding nothing for quite a while, this persuaded me to jump to a different directory, a rather popular one called the Hidden Wiki, and there I found the Hidden Answers website, where I spent a moderate amount of time browsing and looking at people's questions. Some questions were interesting, and others were quite odd, but among all the questions, I found something very fascinating to me, and it's not even a question. Tricking ChatGPT into giving you information it's not allowed to. Bracket tutorial bracket. And of course, my speculation got the best of me, so I decided to try it on a different window. I asked ChatGPT on how to make LSD, and it told me that it couldn't assist me with the request. However, I tried it again with the prompt that I got from the dark web, and it gave me the exact details and steps on how to create the drug. Now I am going to blur the steps on the screen for YouTube guidelines, and other obvious reasons, but after giving the information, ChatGPT emphasizes that it's illegal and strongly advises producing such illegal substances. I decided to try it once more and asked ChatGPT to make a car run on water. I first tried it without the prompt, and it responded and said that running a car solely on water was not possible, and it gave me some information about cell systems that can power a vehicle. I asked the same question, but with the prompt this time, and ChatGPT gave me 4 different methods on how to achieve it. It also provided a disclaimer at the bottom saying that if one were to achieve this, it might lead to legal consequences. Later on, I decided to return back to exploring, but didn't find too much. I looked at some forums and directories, and I even found out what the top 10 searches on the deep search were, with corn being the first and some questionable ones in there. I even found a website that hosts fixed football money matches, where you purchase information about what team is likely to win. According to the website, they have a 95 to 100% success rate. If you ask me, that's pretty bloody good. I discovered the Hitman Marketplace and a hacker website that allows you to hack others. As you can probably tell, I'm not very good at this. Interestingly though, I even stumbled upon a darknet market news website that provided all the recent news of the dark web. Want to find out which vendor was busted and arrested? It's right there. Want to find out who killed who? It's right there. Want to find out who is scamming who? It's all right there. But I ended the day by checking out the one page that I was avoiding, that being P-Hub. I wanted to see if there was a difference from the ClearNet one to the dark web one, and well, let's just say I regret checking it out.
That was a fucking porn site, bro. Dude, I wanted to see. Oh, I wonder what's different from compared from ClearNet to fuck. That turned my stomach. Oh wow, that kicked my ass. Okay, this is not. All right. Quick note: this is not a P hub. This is not it. Do not click on this site. Do not click on that. Okay. Holy they made my stomach turn so bad. Okay. Jesus.
Okay, we are back for day 2. I noticed yesterday, that I accidentally recorded in a lower resolution. So, yeah, great start. On day 2, I returned to the hell landscape that is the dark web, and decided to pay a visit to Mr. Green. This was a website that claimed it can make you money very easily, making claims that it knows the secrets and can teach you to make 137,000 within 6 months. However, after scrolling a bit farther down, it turns out it's just an ebook that is being sold, and according to the reviews, it can make you lots of money. After snooping around for a bit, I went to a different link directory that I was unfamiliar with. And safe to say that it is one of the worst directories I've ever discovered. After escaping that horrific directory, I decided to explore the Dread forum that we previously visited on day 1. However, much to my surprise, I failed to enter the CAPTCHA, so I attempted to refresh the website to attempt the CAPTCHA once more. However, after returning to the website, I was greeted with a message roasting me for failing the CAPTCHA. Now, up to this point, I've only been accessing links that have already been provided by the directories. So, I decided to take things into my own hands. I proceeded to a dark web search engine called Deep Search. I then tried to find these secret alien government documents myself by searching terms like aliens and government. I did manage to find my way to a weapons shop, but no aliens were in sight. Nonetheless, after a bit of searching, I directed myself to find a satanic ceremony. For the small price of $666, you can join Satan's temple and become a priest. Among joining, you get access to what they say, past ceremonies. I continued my search for government documents and secrets found a couple of books of literature and articles, but no documents. After sifting through piles of forums and messaging boards, I chose to visit a different specific Tor directory that I saw online, that being Tor66. Now you may be asking yourself what's so special about this directory. Well, this directory can give you fresh onions, or in other terms, new websites that have been recently made. So I decided to search through these new websites. Throughout these websites, I stumbled upon a Russian website that I couldn't translate, or I believe it's in Russian, I might be wrong, a personal bio website, an image/video hosting website, a website platform creator website, and whatever the hell this is. I even managed to access a chat room. Now the chat room was pretty dead, as it was just me and some other guy. However, upon scrolling the messages, I came to the conclusion these people are weirdos and decided to leave. After leaving the chat room, I decided to read heaps of knowledge of books that I discovered online. Along with these findings, I made the conclusional answer to find some obscure directory that none have seen. Upon my departure from the realm of virtual discourse, my thirst for intellectual enrichment led me down the path of vast literacy receivers found within the boundless expanse of cyberspace. I explore for a little bit on this directory only to find links to CP, and I immediately regret my decision and again get the hell out. I find an online Bible that I actually enjoyed, as it holds every single Bible there is, in any language you want. I explore a little bit more of the repetitive websites before calling it a day, wrapping up day 2. Moving on to day 3 was basically identical to day 1 and day 2. I visited one of the more popular link directories and began my daily exploring. Realizing that I was not finding anything relating to my goal, I attempted once more to take a gamble at trying to find information myself. So how did I find myself scrolling through hundreds of forum posts and pages on the forbidden 8chan website? Much like 4chan, 8chan offered almost identical results, except with a twist, and for the sake of the YouTube guidelines, I will not be explaining that twist. After getting bored of reading forum posts, I then moved on to a directory that presented all the popular onion links. Among this, I discovered a website under the popular show Breaking Bad, and just like how in the show is, this website presents users' experience with certain drugs, and also allows users to spread information about said drugs. After getting a taste of information from these drug addicts, I soon moved on to another website that presented a list of the biggest scam websites. The list provided a variety of different links that pretty much shows a ton of links that are scams. Good to know that some individuals on the dark web care about other safety. A little further along, I soon discovered a blog website that just talked about random things. One being rants, where people rant about YouTube and Twitch. I have also noticed that blog websites are quite common, and most people just like to show things they are interested in. Anyhow, I'm not gonna lie, day 3 had to be one of the more unsuccessful exploring days out of the week. After conducting a brief search, my curiosity led me to seek out intriguing and unconventional chat rooms. However, my attempts to find a functioning website hosting such chat rooms proved futile. To my surprise, I encountered a sudden loss of internet connectivity. Despite being connected to my computer via an Ethernet cable, I headed out to check if the router crashed. However, I found that the router was still running and online. After panicking for a little while, I was pretty much just sitting on a blue screen. My computer soon reconnected though to the internet and I relaunched Tor. But to be honest, I kinda didn't know what was going on, because after a minute or two, I was disconnected from the internet once more. So I decided to call it a night and end my exploration for that day. Now for the sake of the video, I am going to combine day 4 and 5. The reason for it is because I honestly didn't find too much that was interesting, and pretty much most of it was just repetitive stuff that I've talked about in the previous 3 days. So I'll just highlight some of the more interesting things I found spanning over the 2 days. Also, it's around this time that you'll maybe notice how this all works, and how some links are found. Most times a directory leads to another directory, and that directory leads to another directory, and you pretty much rinse and repeat while checking out all the links that directory has to offer. Anywho, returning back to day 4 and 5, I start off my exploration with immediate regret as I find myself clicking on a link that I wish I never had. I soon discover another directory that I've never seen before that I decide to search through the link list. However, having exhausted my endeavors in search of online discussion platforms on day 3, my astonishment reached its zenith upon serendipitously encountering a hyperlink that beckoned me towards an elusive chat room. In throes of inquisitiveness, I exponentially engaged the link, only to be greeted by an insurmountable CAPTCHA. A veritable enigma that demanded prodigious mental exertion and protracted contemplation before its enigmatic veil can be lifted. However, after finally getting through, I was presented with the Black Hat chat, and was told to be given a nickname along with a password. I accordingly picked my name as Bill Nye, hence Bill being my favorite scientist when I was younger. After waiting and waiting in the room for a moderate amount of time, I then entered the chat room, only to find that it's completely dead, and no one was talking about anything interesting. However, I guess that's a good thing compared to the next chat rooms I enter. More on that later. I opened a website called Real Horror to be presented with a picture of Hillary Clinton. I discover a Tor forum that should be wiped off the face of this planet. After some time, I discover another deep web chat room and attempt to gain access, only for me to be presented with the most rigged CAPTCHA I've ever seen. You must tell the time of a clock, and since I have not seen a wall clock since high school, I was honestly at a loss. Not gonna lie, this took me quite a while to figure out, since I am an idiot and can't tell time. I soon click on the help button so I can get some type of assistance. I failed a couple more times until finally I came out victorious. The website then puts me in a chat room with a random person. The first person I meet asks me if I'm a female. After responding with "who knows," they quickly leave. I soon try to find another random person to chat with, only once again to be presented with a god-forbidden clock CAPTCHA. After achieving success one more, I am then put in a chat room with another random person. However, this chat went a bit longer than I expected. They first ask how insane I am, only for them to ask what my gender is. I tell him that I am indeed a man. He soon responds that it's impossible to find females here. Ooh, that's rough, buddy. After chatting for a little bit, I realized that not everyone here is an insane lunatic. There are actual other individuals who simply browse this side of the internet due to curiosity. After getting bored, I opted out and went to another chat room. A chat room like none other I found on the deep web. After logging in and giving myself the username Bill Nye, I found myself amidst a chat room with 34 other users, where they discussed illegal and disgusting acts. Not only did they discuss these strange and disturbing discussions, they also provided links that led to such disgusting actions, as well as videos and images. I had no interest in staying here for too long, so I quickly scanned and went through some of the messages and promptly left the website. Pretty much after this, I went to check out some other directories and found typical websites that contain illegal things, and that would pretty much summarize day 4 and 5. And that leads us to day 6. In day 6 of my exploration, I discovered some interesting discoveries, but just like the rest of the days, much of it was the same. I started off by discovering a whistleblower website where if you have a story that you want to share with a news organization or a media outlet, but you want to share the story anonymously, then you can submit information with Secure Drop, a very popular website where whistleblowers contact big media outlets in secret. You got some pretty big news outlets out there like ABC News and the New York Times. Now, I don't know how legit it is, but it does have an application to go along with it, which I found interesting. I soon moved on to my casual browsing by going through my directories to see if I can find anything worth looking into. I discovered a website that claims to be the relaunch of the Silk Road, and the information criminal market, where you can purchase various important documents. I soon moved on to a search engine called the Excavator, and began searching for top secret classified government documents. I was presented with numerous links and found a website that has a list of companies and government documents. However, after clicking to view these documents, I noticed that the links were presented in a text file, and I had no idea what this was, and honestly, I couldn't really decrypt these text files, so I just left. After leaving, I found another Hitman website with the same pictures that I've seen several times on other supposed Hitman markets. I jump ship and head to another directory, only to be greeted with an ad that states it's hosting a red room/torture room. Knowing that red rooms don't exist, I question the authenticity of this website and go ahead and click on the link. Wait, I'm actually hesitant to look at it. Torture room, watching our... Okay, well, I'm gonna blur this, but it says torture room, watching our content can cause you physiological trauma. Enter or exit. Now, who wants to bet that once I press enter, it's gonna take me to a paywall? I will bet $500 that once I click on this, it will take me directly to a paywall. Place your bets, place your bets. It took me to a... Now listen, I would say that this is weird, but I'm certain that most of this is fake. What I'm seeing, it just looks fake. Join us. Yep, I told you. This is join us. Now, once I click on this one, it's gonna take me to a paywall. Okay, I might be going a little bit too deep on this one. Hopefully, it takes me to a paywall. I'm just hoping that it takes me to a paywall. Or else I'm getting the fuck out of here. Yep. Buy unlimited membership. You have to pay to activate the button. I told you, it's hidden by a paywall. They just want your money. Send exactly to this Bitcoin address. Is this a Bitcoin address? You know what we can actually do? We can check it out on the blockchain to see if anybody's actually purchased any of this. Okay. Let's see. It looks like nobody has sent anything. Okay, good. It seems that they've made nothing from this. No idiots have, fallen into their trap. So, after escaping the hellfest of a website, I give a couple more attempts to access top secret government documents. But just like many of you may have predicted, I couldn't find anything. It's around this time that I discovered the Fresh Onions leak directory, a directory that posts various amounts of fresh onion links. Among the links, I find a chat room and respectively call my name Bill Nye and join. However, shortly after joining, I realized that the chat is pretty dead and the discussion is fairly boring, so I leave. I find a website called the Shout Room, where you need to pay $150 for the passphrase. I leave because I simply don't feel like paying $150 to gain access to a forum. I then find myself on a website called Photo Dark that will show dark web, creepy, and mysterious photos and images. The first I looked up was Fortnite, however no results. This led me to look up Elon Musk, and to my surprise, there he was, the man that will take us to Mars in all his glory. Anyhow, I ended up finding a useful website that teaches you a ton of recipes such as pizza and pancakes. Neat. I browsed around a little bit more, only for me to be stumped with the most impossible CAPTCHA that I couldn't solve. It asked me to enter 2 alphanumeric characters, but I clearly see 5 alphanumeric characters on the screen. I spent the rest of my time trying to figure out which ones to enter, until eventually I gave up and ended up calling it a day. And finally, that leads us to the final day. And to be honest with you guys, I didn't find much. I kind of just spent this last, the final day scrolling through the Fresh Onion links, since I found that those are the most interesting links. So, while my browsing continues in the background, I will give my final thoughts and conclusion about my experience while browsing the dark web. The dark web is an interesting place. It has a lot of terrible things. And I probably won't visit the dark web again anytime soon. I just don't find a reason to do so. There really isn't really a reason to visit the dark web unless you're looking to do some illegal stuff, which I highly don't recommend you do. There just isn't much around. Most of what you'll find is scams and markets. However, I came to realize that most of the people on the dark web are there for the same reason I am. They're there out of pure curiosity. They just want to look around and browse around, and their curiosity got the best of them. I'll have you know that my experience in the dark web wasn't as bad as it looked. To be frank, it could have been a lot worse. The reason for that is because I pretty much avoided any sketchy and disgusting links that I knew would lead me to some of the most vile places on the internet. I simply avoided things that I didn't want to see. And that leads me to mention the advertisements. Holy, is there a lot of advertisements. It's like New York, but on the internet. You're constantly flashed with links and banners telling you to visit whatever website it is, and 90% of the time, it's not good. So, my overall experience of this 1 week exploration would be meh. Honestly, you would probably find most of the things on the dark web on Reddit and 4chan. Not to mention that the dark web isn't really that big. What do I mean by that? Well, it is big, but most of what it is the same websites and links over and over again. It ranges from markets, forums, corn, fraud, scams, and leaks. I'm going to end this video off by saying that I don't recommend you visit the dark web. And the main reason for this is because there just isn't a reason to. However, I know many of you are as curious as I am and will do it anyways. So, I'll just say to proceed with caution and stay safe.